What's up, y'all? A 5-year-old was lured with the promise of candy by a stranger who took her into a trailer park and raped her. And she got away, after he was done and went home and, they still looking for this guy. Let's talk about strangers. When I was young, my mama used to always tell me, don't talk to strangers, you know what I'm saying? If they offering you some candy, money, anything edible, don't take it if you don't know them. Don't get in a car with them. Just don't be alone, don't walk alone, just stuff that is, your everyday safety for your kids. Like, you teach them that. I feel so bad about the not guilty verdict. Y'all, I didn't do a video. And it took me a minute to even decide to record this one. But the reason why I brought up the 5-year-old, this happened today. It's on the news. It's breaking news. And she was a white child, I think, and the perp was a black dude. It has nothing to do with race. This here to me has nothing to do with race. But as a parent, you tell your child don't talk to strangers. You tell them to run if you have to, or scream if you have to. Try to find an adult if you have to. When I think of that, I think of George Zimmerman, because he was a stranger in Trayvon's eyes, according to Rachel Gentile, the night that he was murdered. He was a creepy ass cracker that was following him in his truck and then followed him on foot. After being told to don't follow him, he killed Trayvon Martin because Trayvon Martin was a fighter. You know what I'm saying? I really don't think those were self-inflicted wounds. I said in my other video, please don't believe that those were self-inflicted wounds, y'all, because a lot of people is stupid and dumb that they thinking that this man shot Trayvon and then want to beat himself up. Please believe Trayvon was a fighter, a 17-year-old young boy from the streets of Miami. He probably didn't fight all the time, but I'm sure that he knows how to defend himself. And I think that George Zimmerman was... That's how crazy this man's name is. It don't even want to come out. George Zimmerman was the predator, and Trayvon was his prey. And he seen Trayvon, and Trayvon looked suspicious because it's 7 o'clock, y'all. Sometimes, depending on what what time daylight saving times era we're in, at 7 o'clock the sun is still up. But this time it was down and it was night and it was raining and he had on a hoodie, so I guess he looked suspicious to George Zimmerman. Now, as far as the screams is concerned, I just want to say this. Who's to say that it wasn't both of their screaming? Who's to say that it was George Zimmerman's or that it was Trayvon's? Who's to say that? But it is a coincidence that George Zimmerman said he was screaming for help before the whole question about whose voice was it. So I could say that maybe he was screaming for help because of the evidence and what, because honestly, the defense had to prove their case just as well as the state had to prove their case. And I do believe some of George Zimmerman's story, as far as I believe it was him that was screaming. I know a mother knows her child's voice, but I don't know. I just want to say, as the way the evidence goes and the way the police and the sheriffs testified that George Zimmerman kept on saying he was screaming before the whole screaming thing was an issue, makes you just say, you know what, we don't want to believe it, but you gotta believe the truth when you hear it. And that kind of sort of seemed like it was a truth to me. Maybe George Zimmerman was the one that was on there screaming for help. But why the hell stop when the gunshot, went off? You know, that's another statement that we can say we want to believe it, but we don't really know. We wasn't there, so we don't really know. But he could have shot him and just was in a state of shock. I don't know. I'm just trying to come up to something because this whole shit is confusing to me of why he's not guilty. Let me get back on track of the Stranger Thing. Everybody that was on that jury had a child besides one, and they were women. They're the ones that enforce safety on their kids, right? You don't want your kid to be kidnapped, or lured with candy, or just followed. Because Trayvon wasn't lured by anything. He was just being followed. You know what I'm saying? What do you tell your kids to do? That's what I want to ask the juror. What I seen I think his name Ted Cooper on CNN interviewing the jury. One of the jurors, my bad. One of the jurors. And I also seen Pierce Morgan interviewing Rachel Gentile, which I'm going to get on that in a minute. But this jury said that, this juror, I don't know why I keep saying jury. This juror said that she believed George Zimmerman. I mean, it was like 2 for manslaughter. 1 was for murder 2, and the other 2 or 3, I don't know how many is left, was for guilty. Something like that. I don't know. It's not in the Bible, but if you've seen the interview, you know what I'm talking about. And then it all changed or whatever. But she said she believes George Zimmerman. She second guessed herself though on something. She was talking about Rachel Gentile's story and said Rachel Gentile had no credibility or whatever. She said she feels sorry for her. It's sad. She's uneducated. She just felt like, Rachel Gentile just made up that phone call. She had no credibility. And then it was like,